Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to announce the Hero Women's Indian Open 2022. Now let's take a moment to understand how the world has changed since we were all here last, the challenges we've all faced, but now we are here, indeed very happy to be announcing the staging of yet another edition of the Hero Women's Indian Open. It is my pleasure to introduce the dignitaries on the dais. Immediately to my left, Mr. 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗹𝗵𝗶, Advisor Sports, Hero MotoCorp Limited. To his left is Mrs. Kavita Singh, President of the Women's Golf Association of India. To her left is Ms. 𝗵𝗵𝗶, Secretary General of the Women's Golf Association of India. And to her left is Mr. 𝗙់ឆ Daroga, AVP Operations of the DLF Golf and Country Club. Weeks from now. Now we'll also be joined by a few players from the Hero Women's Pro Golf Tour. As you all may know, we had a tour event at the DLF Golf and Country Club. This morning was the final round, and with the rain delays, the players are now on the way here and will be joining us very soon. Moving forward, I'd like to first request Mr. 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗹𝗵 to please address the gathering.
Thank you, Karan, for the lovely evening. Always sets the right tone for the conference and also gives me a lot of the right amount of confidence to know that Hero is doing the right thing. Thanks, Karan. Mrs. Kavita Singh, Mrs. 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗱, eminent players who will be present shortly. The newest member of the team, friends from the media, ladies behind me and the ladies in the front, and gentlemen. On behalf of my chairman, Dr. Pawan Munjal, and on behalf of my company, Hero MotoCorp, I welcome you to this press conference of the Hero Women's Indian Open 2022. Thank you for being here today. I personally am so happy to be back here again on this podium and so happy to be with you once more. Everyone knows the last 2 years have been very challenging for all of us. The humanity itself faced a monumental crisis. Why sports? The whole life came to a standstill. But still, life went on. Internationally, golf was the first sport to come back to normalcy. In India, WGI held 6 events in the early part of 2021, and as the season progressed, they had 9 more events. The Olympic Games, which had been postponed by a year, finally took place in August 2021. It was a proud moment for all of us when the 2016 Hero Indian Open champion, 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗄𝗃, had the whole country watching her and golf as he came agonizingly close to a medal. It was a huge boost for Indian golf, especially Indian women's golf. And recently, 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗹𝗵 made all of us proud by winning a gold at the Deaf Olympics. We are now all ready for the 2022 Hero Women's Indian Open from October 20th to 23rd. Our golfers are well prepared as the domestic Hero Women's Pro Golf Tour has already held 13 events so far. In fact, the 13th event just concluded today at DLF. And some of the players who participated are probably joining in just now. Please, let me welcome you. Please sit down. And thank you for gracing this occasion, okay? Thank you so much. And I hope you had your lunch, eh? Our top women golfers like you have been regularly playing and performing on the international circuit. Players like 𝗙់𝗪𝗹 and 𝗵𝗵𝗲𝗹 have had top 10 finishes in recent weeks, while 𝗖𝗵𝗄𝗀 and 𝗙់Malik are also doing extremely well. I think 𝗙់𝗪𝗹 was tied third in the French Open very recently. The Hero Women's Indian Open continues to be the flagship event in the region with a very high quality of competition. The entries so far suggest that we can once again expect a very strong field. Though more will be confirmed in the coming weeks, all our top Indian stars, including 𝗖𝗵𝗄𝗀, 𝗙់𝗪𝗹, 𝗙់Malik, 𝗵𝗵𝗲𝗹, if the two names I would have missed out here, among others, have all entered the tournament. We also have some new faces like 𝗙 who has already won 5 times on the professional circuit this year. The Hero Women's Indian Open has been a part of the Ladies European Tour since 2010, and it is going in stature and strength with each edition. I am told that many of the top elite winners are expected to be in India. The last date for entries is still some weeks away. I am sure Champika will be sharing more names with you as we come closer to the event. I would like to appreciate the efforts of Mrs. 𝗂𝗽𝗋𝗋 and her team for the development of women's golf in India. They have nursed the sport, encouraged the players, and made conditions very good for domestic competitions. It is from this pool of players we have seen new stars emerge. We'll be glad to know that the total number of professionals on WGI payroll is now about 51. And when I was on this same platform 10 years ago, it was hardly double digit. And as a recognition of WGAI's efforts, the LET is holding the qualifying stage number 1 for LET 2023 in India for the first time. That will also be held sometime next month. In fact, it is the first instance that the qualifying stage will be held in Asia. Is that so good? If that is so, then WGI should really be proud. And we can expect to see more youngsters making a bid to get into LET, which is now much stronger after its alliance with LPGA. And for a special word of thanks for the media, this growth of Indian women's golf and golf in general in India would not have been possible without the help and your support that we have got continuously. Dear friends of the media, it is because of your continued support that Indian golf is now recognized worldwide, internationally. Thank you for your continued support. I hope to see you all at the DLF at the tournament next month. I guarantee you, it will be the most exciting edition you have witnessed. And of course, you will also partake of the very generous hospitality of Mrs. Kavita Singh. And I would, I'm hungry for the last 2 years. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I think Mr. 𝗙𝗲𝗃 has said whatever I had to say as well. He's covered it so comprehensively. But good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, and my board, and of course, Mr. 𝗙𝗃. He is always there. He is ever faithful in his support to us with Dr. Pavan Munjal. I mean, I am so grateful because honestly, this tour would not be possible without their generosity. It is faith that they show in us. It is faith that they show in our Indian girls, our players. And we will all be eternally grateful for all the support we've had consistently. It gives me immense pleasure now to announce that we will be hosting the 14th edition of the Hero Women's Indian Open at the DLF Golf and Country Club in the 3rd week of October. It's a great feeling to utter these words because considering what the world has gone through since the past 2 years, sports have suffered, human lives have suffered, families have suffered. So it's a great thing that we all are slowly picking ourselves up, taking the courage and moving forth. As you know, we all are dying in our own way to have some semblance of normalcy in our lives. Am I right, girls? You all have been playing the tour, and you know, golf is one game which is, luckily you're not all clustered together and it's not so much as a contact sport. So luckily you girls played, you know, in the first year, of the COVID, and then you played 6 events and now you all are playing. So, as you know, we have kept the tour running and it's given our players an opportunity to make a living because they are professionals. It is not easy to be on the tour. They have to earn their living, and I think all this would not have been possible without the support of Dr. Pavan Munjal, who has stood by us and the players through the domestic tour and everything. So again, I want to thank Dr. Munjal for having faith in us. It's his commitment which has been key to the growth of women's professional golf in India. I would also like to thank DLF, who have been steadfast in their support right since the inception of our tour. The players return after 3 years, and we are all eagerly looking forward to having them back in India. As you know, we have girls from about 25 countries who come, and the Indian girls have also improved their skills tremendously since the last tournament that was held in 2019. And now they are all regularly in contention on the international stage, as Mr. 𝗙𝗲𝗃 mentioned, you know, in the Olympics and playing the international European tours. We can't forget Aditi when we all were cheering for her. So I hope, girls, we see a little more of all that. We started off with 8 players, and today I'm very happy to say we are 51 players. So it's great that more girls are coming forth because so much of importance is given to other sports. And it's not been easy on you girls, I know that, but yet you all carry on. So kudos to all of you. A lot of the young players are coming in now and they're brimming with talent and confidence. They're all determined to make their mark, and they're all coming up from the amateur tour. So that is a great sign, I think, for WGI. Jahnavi, Hitashi, Pranavi are just a few of them. And we're going to see them very soon, I hope, on the international tours as well. Our field is shaping up well. We have seen some of the players from the past few years come back to play our tournament. So I think it goes very well for us because that means that the prize money is good thanks to Hero again. You know, Dubai cancelled this year, but I think with Mr. Munjal's support, we are going to have this tournament, and we are going to go forth and we are not going to knuckle down. I want to thank all of you in the media because you've been covering us very steadily. I know we have 2 years of the lockdown, but otherwise also you keep, I keep reading in the Indian Express and Hindustan Times, Times of India, all the papers that I read, I see you cover our tour well. So thank you so much. I just want to let you all know, really this would not be possible without the joint effort of everyone. Thanks again very much.
Looking forward to that week at the DLF Golf and Country Club. And some of our Indian players who regularly play the LET are in Ireland this week to play. So we reached out to them and they have a few words, a message of how they're feeling of coming back to the Hero Women's Indian Open. So we have messages from 𝗵𝗵𝗶 and 𝗙𝗵𝗄𝗧. Can we please play those?
Good afternoon everyone. I'm very happy and delighted to be
members of the media, Mrs. Kavita Singh, Mr. 𝗙𝗽𝗽, our board members here. Thank you for coming here today. I know it's raining hard, but I think we are most grateful to the media for supporting us year on year. In fact, we are very grateful that you've helped the game to grow and given our players our due. Nothing can happen unless you all are now actively following the players. We've been able to have a fan base which is fantastic. An important thing is that just a few years ago, maybe 6, 7, 8 years ago, the fan base for golf in India was low. But after the Olympics, after our players with 𝗭𝗍𝗍, with the boys and girls all doing very well, it's really gone to amazing heights. And we can only thank the media for this type of thing. Thank you very much for that. This edition of the Hero Women's Indian Open post-pandemic is being staged after 2019, as the eloquent speakers have said before me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say that the world order in the game of golf is fast evolving, and we are witnessing a change in several aspects of the game. Broad-basing talent is very important. That the livelihoods of golfers across not only Europe but the Asia-Pacific region is now a reality. So much so, there has been a survey by the RNA that the game of golf has grown in India more than 12% in the last 2 years, and that's that's a big amount. In Asia, there are countries like Malaysia, where golf has grown 25%, and in China, during the pandemic and post-pandemic, the game has grown 43%. So India is at 12% right now, and I expect that with the kind of golf that our players are playing, the girls, the ladies, and the top Indian men, this game is going to make a huge impact in the next 2 or 3 years. As you all know, the Ladies European Tour has been instrumental in helping the growth of women's professional golf in India. For the last 4 or 5 seasons, we've had players playing in the Ladies European Tour, and I'm very proud to say that in this particular season, whether it is 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗧, 𝗵𝗄𝗧, Amandeep and Vani, they have gone out. They have, I had a very good opportunity to interact with these girls in Jakarta recently. They have all matured. They have really matured in their game, And having said that, many of you who've been following golf for the last 10 years will be able to gauge that there's a new generation of golfers out there on the Ladies European Tour, and our players who've now played 4 seasons or 5 seasons are right up there with the rest of them, and there's no taking away from that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now made a mark, our players have made a mark on the Ladies European Tour. Whether it's 𝗵𝗲𝗹𝗵𝗶, who has played her career's best, there is Vani, who's played her career's best, and 𝗙ص, who I must give you a little background on what she's been able to achieve. For a player who had gone off the Olympic rankings in the top 60 by her performance last week, she jumped 132 places in the Olympic rankings, 132 places. So she is now second after 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗄𝗧, who's playing on the LPGA. 𝗙𝗵𝗲𝗪 comes down to the second place, and her ranking is now 362. As we speak, of course, they're playing in Ireland, and we hope that she plays another great game this week. Ladies and gentlemen, talking about the DLF Golf and Country Club and a little bit about the Hero Women's Indian Open, we are playing for a prize purse of $400,000. The field is of 114 players this year due to the restricted daylight hours in India, in Delhi. The course yardage is just over 6,100 yards. And as you all know, this tournament, the Hero Women's Indian Open, is a counting event for the Olympics 2024. Our players will get an opportunity to accrue points, and it's vital. We have a very interesting situation, like the previous eloquent speaker said. The first time the Ladies European Tour is hosting their pre-qualifying in India. Ladies and gentlemen, there are almost 30 players who are coming to qualify. Out of these 30 players, there are almost 15 or 16 Indian girls who are trying to do the pre-qualifying to get into the final stage of the Q school for the 2023 season. That speaks volume of where we are heading. I'm sure you all understand that, from a time that we've got, 4 or 5 players in India, we've got 15 of them vying to qualify for the Ladies European Tour. Another potential player, unfortunately, who won't be here, but is leading in the Hero Order of Merit, is 𝗵𝗵𝗪, who is made it to the final Q school of the LPGA. She is not going to be able to play our Women's Indian Open, but the Indian charge is being led by none other, of course, than Aditi and 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗄𝗧, plus our Indian players, the 𝗵𝗵𝗲𝗄𝗧, 𝗂𝗽𝗱 𝗂𝗵𝗵𝗂𝗃, Riddhima, and a whole lot of potential players here. It can be anybody's week. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ladies European Tour is going to come forward with Lynn Grant. I think many of you may know Lynn Grant. She is ranked second on the Ladies European Tour, and her money earnings today are almost close to 800,000 euros. She'll be the top player. Aditi, as you all know, playing on the LPGA, her money earnings are close to $1 million now. She just, I think, $2,000 short of $1 million. That's going to be a very interesting field. As far as the DLF Golf and Country Club is concerned, it's very heartening to know that there are very few clubs in the country that actually employ and look after the welfare of their own caddies. Ladies and gentlemen, the DLF Golf and Country Club, which is our host club, not only do they host the Women's Indian Open, but they have given a open carte blanche playing facility to every woman who's turned professional. And there is no other club in the country that does that. I think a huge with the world-class facilities there, our players lack nothing, and you can see that they have grown from strength to strength based on a facility of this type. The DLF Golf and Country Club, from what I know, they have 160 caddies whom they pay and look after right through the year. I wish a lot more clubs would employ caddies of their own. Not only are they providing a livelihood, but yes, another generation of young golfers who can come up. Other than that, we've got 4 amateur players from the world amateur ranking, which will be led by 𝗵𝗵𝗶, the young 13 going on 14-year-old playing from Bangalore. Then we have another amateur, Anika Verma, based in the US, and 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗏, they'll be coming to play, and another young player called 𝗵𝗵𝗏𝗏. Ladies and gentlemen, golf is full of surprises, and I won't be surprised if we see an Indian winner this year. When we were recently playing a tournament in Southeast Asia in Jakarta last month, world number 4, Lydia Ko, got beaten by a unseeded player from Philippines who beat her by 4 strokes. So, and her ranking was 924. So anything can happen, and we look forward to seeing you all at the DLF Golf and Country Club. Thank you once again, everybody, for being here. If there are any questions you need to ask, please do feel free. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, 𝗂𝗽𝗏 won the tournament today at DLF. Thank you for joining us, all of you. Before we open the floor to questions from the members of the press, I have a few questions of my own, which I'd like to ask, and I'll start with 𝗙់.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, so I've recently had the great fortune of joining the DLF Country Club and Golf Course as their Vice President for Operations. And I'm not really a hotelier, but I'm a great fan of the game, so I'm very fortunate to have this opportunity.
And a very keen golfer, 𝗙់. 𝗙់, I'd like to ask you, for many, many years, the DLF Golf and Country Club has been hosting international events, both the men's and women's Indian Opens, but of course there's been a gap of these 2.5, 3 years. How is the course now gearing up to once again having an international event being staged, and how is the team at the club looking forward to getting all this excitement back?
So we have our course designed by Gary Player. It is a very challenging course, which I'm sure the ladies will stand testament to, who played recently. The course in itself provides great conditions, and obviously because of the way it is designed, it really tests the mettle of a lot of the players that play on it. Having said that, I think we're very proud as an organization to ensure that the entire team is keyed into the fact that we are tournament ready 365 days a year. And when I say tournament ready, I mean that we would be happy to contest any PGA course in the world. We've got an entire team that have been working for many years with this single goal in mind. As ma'am mentioned earlier, we nurture a lot of the talent in-house over many years to ensure that they understand how the course plays, despite various weather conditions as well. So regardless of weather conditions, and Delhi does see a lot of different type of weather, we're very proud to say that we're ready at the course.
Yes, I'm sure the players are from world over are looking forward to coming back to DLF.
Yes.
Now, just a follow-up question on that. So, when we see all this upcoming golfing talent come up from within the club, and DLF Golf and Country Club supports a lot of juniors, ladies, amateurs, professionals to hone their skills. Tell us something about that, about the program and about the encouragement that you have for nurturing talent.
Okay, so firstly I have to say that, you know, it is amazing to see the kind of facilities that we have. Because we've got all state-of-the-art equipment, we've got a great academy, we've got professionals training professionals. I have to echo what ma'am said earlier. It is a huge deal to realize that, thanks to Mr. Singh, we actually have very eagerly invite all the professional lady players to come and use our facilities to their advantage as they go out and represent the nation, which is a huge deal as well. So for us, it is it is amazing to know that we have a course that is so challenging, and that we give it to all our players to be able to nurture them and for them to grow. So.
Thank you, Darshan. We'll all be. Is in 2010, Hero took over the sponsorship of the Hero Women's Pro Golf Tour and the Hero Women's Indian Open. Now in 2022, and looking at all that has grown in women's professional golf in India, would you then go back and say this was your vision, and going forward, what more do you expect out of all the progress that is taking place?
Thanks for the question. I think the question is more for Dr. Munjal than me, really, because he had the vision. And I suppose his vision was supported by the visions of Mr. Singh, and all of them. And talking 10 years ago and what it is now, I suppose the vision has been fulfilled, or the objective that you would have had at that particular moment of time has been very much fulfilled. Because internationally, golf, both women and men, in Indian golf is quite recognized and quite acclaimed. I suppose the future is bright, and I can only say the sky is the limit. So let's see.
Thank you, sir, for your continued support. Of course, have been very challenging in terms of how the world is changing and what's going on. How have you been able to keep the Women's Golf Association of India, the Hero Women's Pro Golf Tour? How have you kept that going? And a follow-up to that would be, what would be your immediate goals and plans over the next year or couple of years?
Well, to be honest, Karan, it has been very challenging for us. It's been tough economically also, because as you know, funding is very tight for golf, and if it wasn't for the support of Hero, honestly, all you girls would be facing a different kind of challenge, because at least we could play the domestic tour, and they've been such ardent supporters. I mean, Hero always, Mr. Munjal and Mr. J. always say, look, if you're falling short, please avail of this, please avail of that. And they have been very kind with their generosity. Really, Mr. Narayan, thank you for that. No, because it has been a challenge, because we had no money coming in for 2 years. We didn't have the tournament. It was tough for us to host it at different venues. And because everyone was hurting all over, even the venues increased their rates and everything. So it was an issue. But honestly, going forth, I feel that we can't be diffident about this. We have to be positive. The whole world is moving on. We have to move on. We have to go ahead and garner more support, which again, the members of the press are very kind. They always cover us at all the venues. So thank you for that, gentlemen and ladies. also it's I mean, it's an Olympic sport now, so hopefully a lot of people will see the promise of supporting the game, because unfortunately golf, and I'm being very honest, gentlemen, and you may not like what I say, but it's always been seen as an elitist sport. And why is it elitist? I mean, 𝗙𝗪𝗪 rose from very poor, humble beginnings. So I feel we can't just write it off. We have to support players, we have to encourage them. And honestly, then the world's their oyster. You have to, I don't think we can be diffident about it. I don't think we can get ourselves down. We have to work very hard. We are working hard at it. My board, all the members, Mrs. 𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵, Mr. David Narang, 𝗙ص𝗹𝗹𝗵𝗶, Champika, I mean, all of them are always there in their moral and physical support and financial support. We all try to raise the monies, which, like I said, is a challenge. But I don't think we can give up. I don't think we have to say, this is it. We cannot throw our arms up. You know, I think what really, and girls, this is for you too as well. I think adversity makes you stronger, makes you better. So never lose faith, never lose heart. That's what I can say.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karan.
Ma'am, over the last few years, with the support of the LET and with the support of the RNA, the WGI has been able to conduct a junior development camp within the week of the Hero Women's Indian Open. And in 2019, we had, I think, 48 girls flown in from across India to attend a 3-day program on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And they came up close with the pros. They were given golf clinics, and it was a huge success. Is that in the plans again this year, and how would you like to take that a little bit forward?
Thank you, Karan. Not only did this last 3-4 years we've been doing this camp of excellence at the DLF with support from RNA and the LET. It's been one of the most, I think, one of the best innovations that the WGI has taken forward with the help of these organizations. This year in particular, from what I know, is we are going to get the top amateur players from the national stream of amateur golf, from the elite golf of amateurs, and at least 5 from each category, A, B, C, D. And these girls who are already playing in the national stream, the whole idea is to groom them and bring them to Delhi in the same manner, board, lodging, everything on the house. Make them see where they are aspiring to reach. There are a lot of girls who are taking advantage of amateur golf only to get into colleges. Now that's one stream. The earlier we seed this out, and even lots of girls who are going to college in the US, they're coming back home to play professional golf, which is also very good. So when you have a combination of both, I think it augurs very well for the future for women's professional golf. We did have lots of young kids last time, but this time we are looking at a completely different age group. And people and girls who are particularly interested in getting on to the Ladies European Tour, getting on, pursuing the game more than anything else. Also, Karan, I would like to tell you that while the pandemic was on, WGI didn't sit. We had more innovations. If you remember correctly, again we had a series of webisodes which we were doing on Zoom, actually on site with the European Tour players and our Indian players. There were lots of questions being answered. There was, golf demonstrations going on, and I think that was one of the best things that happened during the pandemic. It kept the young girls engaged, for their game. In fact, it was very easy to lose heart because people were stuck indoors, and I'm sure that the 𝗙𝗪𝗪 also participated. If you saw those, you let us have your academy, and we had lessons being given by our players. So I think all these factors have been very good, very encouraging for the players. They appreciate and they've started valuing what they're getting. So this time as well, next month, we're going to be doing a lot of activity, hopefully. You'll all come and see it.
Yes, thank you. And of course,
Question is to 𝗙𝗵𝗶. You said the number of participants have gone down 114 because of some daylight issue. You said, what is the why the field has been shortened?
Yeah. So Rohit, we have a limited number of daylight hours when we can start. The players, as it is, they tee off at 7 o'clock in the morning and they come out to practice. It's dark by end of October. So we cannot fit in more players. As much as we would love to have a field of 120, but on the return, the home side, in the evening, there is not enough daylight. And I think in 2019, you may recall, but at least we did, that some of the players were playing into the dark. So we have to control the numbers this year. That's the only reason, nothing else. If we had good weather in India, we could have had bigger numbers, more daylight hours.
the later you play in winter, the daylight hours shorten, so we don't want round 1 to finish on day 2. So we have to keep that.
Golf has grown in India in recent years, and you were talking about how it is seen as an elitist sport.
Yes, that's right.
But what else could be done to make golf more accessible in India?
Well, I think, firstly, may I know your name and who you represent? If you gentlemen could all just introduce yourselves.
My
nice
name is 𝗙𝗵𝗶.
And where are you from?
I'm with Times now.
Okay, that's nice. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
You too.
How do I say this? It's an elitist sport because this is a misnomer. It's okay. Yes, it's got to do, no, it's a club culture, you see, but it's also not very many people have access to golf clubs, have access to golf shooting ranges. Now, everywhere else, I mean, 𝗙𝗵𝗶 told you earlier that there's 40% driving, 12% is India. This is because, honestly, I feel, and I've been saying this before, but sadly, not much heed has been paid to it, so I'm being very honest. The government has to do something where public courses are they're more frequent, and you don't have to have 18-hole courses, you can have 9-hole courses, you can have practice ranges, you can have putting greens. Every area has gardens, has parks. The government must sort of put in even a putting green or a chip and putt thing. I mean, look at Nehru Park, it's huge. Lodi Garden is huge. We have so many other parks. I'm just talking of South Delhi, but so many other areas, and even all over the countries, you know, north, south, west. Unfortunately, and I'm being very honest with you, it is perceived as an elitist sport. I have gone and met people in the government where I have asked for support, and I have faced this problem where they say, oh, it's just a few people, it's not like cricket, it's not like this, but you know, till the government doesn't support, I mean, I have to be honest, this is all from private enterprise that we get all the support, from Hero, from DLF, from AI. These are all people who are avid golfers and who have a passion for the game and want to give back to the game. Otherwise, why would someone give us their monies? They have put that faith in us so that we can help to grow the game of golf. Now, honestly, I would love everyone to play, whatever your background is. I mean, we are happy to provide clubs, balls, but somewhere the government has to take the initiative also. They have to remove this label of being elitist. What is elitist? I could say cricket was elitist till a few years ago. I mean, now all the money has come into cricket. Others who played cricket? It was all lords and people from exclusive universities in England, and then they brought it to India, and the Maharajas, I mean the Nawab of Pataudi, this one, that one, they were all elitist in a way. But there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to apologize for being that. But at the same time, you have to nurture people from the grassroots. Only then, and I'm very happy to say that the government has been doing that for all other sports. So why not even for golf? That's my only cry and my only plea, honestly. And I wish you gentlemen of the press would take it forward and would talk about it. And the armed forces golf, I mean, there's so many, but again, they are just for that. That's why I'm saying, you know, somewhere we have to bring this awareness that golf should be in every area. I mean, how did cricket start? It was played in mohallas. You had one little strip, and the kid is bowling, and you have your 3 sticks, and he's got his bat, and he's hitting. Why can't we have the same thing for golf, where you chip and you putt, and you hit into a net? I mean, honestly, we are great athletes. Why doesn't, I mean, I'm really now happy to say that the government in all other aspects and all other sports, I mean, wrestlers, rowers, I mean, everyone is, cyclists are all doing so well. Why can't the golfers also do well? And this again has to start from when you're small. That awareness has to be created. It is not an elitist sport anymore. I would hate to use that word, honestly. So please take that misnomer away.
I want to, gentlemen, can you stand up? Young man, thanks. I want to just tell you one thing, okay, which is that the word elite, okay, elite and elitist. Elite golf from 2009 onwards, when golf became an Olympic sport, elite golf was the quality of golf that is being played by a player, whether it is a woman, a girl, lady. Golf got divided or segregated from handicap golf. Girls who played, you know, top level golf in the country, that was labeled as elite.